Welcome back to the Guardians of the Palaxy podcast, everybody. My name is MT, and I'm here with two of my wonderful friends, Whitney Van Laningham and Tommy Bechtold. What's going on, gang?
Hi.
Going down the road, down the witch's road with you guys today. Holy wow. We gotta talk about Agatha episode 4.
My God, we have tackled generational curses this episode, and my God, I did not know how scary generational curses could actually look.
I do. I'm
Jesus
Irish.
Christ.
All the men in my family have a generational curse.
Honestly, I feel like all families have a little bit of a generational curse in them.
Yeah, I think we all do. We all have scars from our ancestors and the curses they've bestowed upon us.
Since I'm Haitian, I'm cursed to only drive Toyota cars. That's my generation.
I did not make that connection, but
bro, any Haitian you meet, they'll be driving a Toyota or a Honda, guaranteed. There is no other choice. Because we like really reliable, cheap to fix cars. Okay. Anyway,
there's ain't nothing wrong. It sounds like that. Just sounds like
nothing
good,
wrong
good
with
common
that.
Sense
Yeah, that just sounds like smart car buying to me.
It's a good curse.
Hell yeah, that's not a curse. That's a family blessing. That is a family blessing. You will be blessed with a Honda Odyssey, the likes of which even Deadpool and Wolverine cannot destroy.
But no, this episode, of course, starts with the tragic burying of Mrs. Hart, aka Sharon Davis. Whatever fits your fancy.
We hardly knew ye.
But one really interesting part of like that burial process is when Agatha looks at her body and she's like, I didn't know you had it in you. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, what's going on with that? What did you guys think what she meant by that?
All women are witches. Sharon is no different. Sharon is no different. We all have a little bit of a witch inside of us. All of us, a little tiny witch. Sometimes our witches are this big. Sometimes our witches inside are this big. You don't know. We don't know.
That's cute. I took it to mean, Sharon kind of let loose on everybody the episode before. Like she kind of she was really having a gals night, and she kind of on the road even before the house. She was like, "This is the worst party ever," and she was kind of unloading on them. And then, we kind of got to see a confident, non-hexed side of Sharon for like 15 minutes, and then she drank the poison, and they all did, and she was the only one that didn't get saved, as appropriately mentioned, because our potions master did not give her the correct dosage. Really, I kind of think that is why she died. She's the only one that drank 2 glasses. She only got 1 dose of poison. Ergo, I blame Jennifer Kale, who, by the way, I don't want to jump around in this, but if there was ever a person that gave off bass player energy more than I've ever seen in my life, when Agatha said, "Jennifer, you play bass," I was like, "Yep, that's about right."
Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely today.
But I'm ahead of myself. Let's talk this episode. So it's a new trial. We have our next trial.
Yes.
This one seems to be all about Gulliver, our protection witch.
Oh, yes. But before that happens, actually, we get, of course, the arrival of Rio. That seems to emerge.
Yeah, baby.
From the grave of Sharon.
From the corpse of Sharon comes forth Rio, the most powerful lesbian in all of the road.
Ooh.
Oh my God. I love her.
Do you think that Rio was shape-shifting as Sharon the entire time, and that's what Agatha meant? Like, I didn't know you had this inside of you, like, as in, like, Rio is inside of you, and now we're gonna do this whole... She just Trojan horsed her?
Honestly, I like that idea a lot. I don't know if like Agatha was referring to Rio specifically, but the idea of Mrs. Hart or Sharon shape-shifting into Rio, it kind of makes sense considering that, like, I feel like what's it called? Mrs. Hart's clothes was very like floral themed, and like Rio
true.
is very like greenery based. So I'm like, that could be like a slight little nod to that.
I'm wondering if like they're gonna get back and like Mrs. Davis is just, or Mrs. Hart is just gonna be in her garden, and it'll be like
still chilling, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, it was Rio the whole time." God damn it!
It was Rio all along.
It was Rio all along. Yeah,
I could see that.
I'm into that.
I can see it's getting another
that.
twist like that. But yes, no, like Tommy said before, we do get the second trial by arriving at this fire-themed house, as indicated by the little moon symbol that's in the fire phase, and everyone's in 70s gear, which is the most tragic thing of all time. That like Deborah Jo Rupp is not in this episode.
I
know. Because of goddamn that 70s, she probably still has all the outfits. She could have been on call like that. She could
have put on Kitty's blouse, like, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feathered her hair out.
She could have 100% just come out and been like, I'm Kitty Foreman. And everyone would have gone nuts. Everyone would have gone fucking nuts. It is so depressing that Sharon wasn't in that episode. However, it is not depressing because holy shit, those outfits were so cool. Oh my God. I agree with the teen. They are just an album cover waiting to happen. Everyone's outfit was so on point. Particularly obsessed, obviously, with Agatha's. I loved the sparkly and the little cape and it's so cool.
Their outfits were pretty damn fire. I can't even
I like the whole decor of the house. I thought the whole thing was really great. It's the interesting thing about like the witches, since they age differently. You're like, oh yeah, Gulliver, she wasn't alive in this, or she wasn't young or like an adult in the 70s. Didn't have like core memories in the 70s. Like, oh yeah, she probably did. She's probably like 150 years old.
Yeah.
She was probably
absolutely. Yeah. And something that I thought was really cool was that there was definitely a Fleetwood Mac album on the wall.
Yes.
And I was like, is Stevie Nicks a witch? Yes. Yes, Stevie Nicks is a witch. She absolutely is. That makes 100% sense to me. It is now canon in my world that Stevie Nicks.
I think it's canon in Stevie Nicks' world based on her face, her voice, her appearance, and her attitude over the last 50 years in pop culture. I thought that the decor was amazing. The way the house was decorated, the outfits were incredible. I like that it was like had the built-in recording studio in the house. That always feels very 70s to me.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
They're like, yeah, we keep the studio in the house. We don't even have to leave. We can do everything here. And we get some more insight into Gulliver's past, you know. She says, I love the line, my mom did die maybe your mom died on the road. My mom did die on the road. And then how do you know? And it's like, oh, she died on the road on tour.
Yeah. The road, yeah. On the road versus on the road. I see what you're saying. I was a little slow, but I get it now. Yeah. She did. She died on tour. I think that it's just so interesting that they had music tied to this like generational family curse, and that her mom was trying this whole time to break the curse and to protect her daughter with the song of Down the Witch's Road.
What a sweet counter curse. It's
so
the
beautiful.
Song.
It's
and
the
song. It's a hit. She willed it to be a hit, and then it's the one thing that could keep her daughter safe all these years was that someone was always playing this beautiful song that she had recorded.
Someone was on Spotify hitting play at every moment her daughter's entire life, and I love that for her. Down the Witch's Road, the Ballad of the Witch's Road is absolutely the #1 song of the summer. That's right, Sabrina Carpenter. It's better than Espresso. Just kidding. Nothing's better.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't mess with Sabrina Carpenter. Her magic is perhaps.
No, she's definitely a witch. Sabrina, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
She's a teenage witch.
Nice. This is like the second time in MCU like lore that we're sort of seeing music being used as magical weaponry. Because of course, Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange uses the musical notes to fight each other. Like it's really dope and cool. But like there seems to be an implication that like music can be a form of magic in the MCU, which is a really cool thing. Because like at the end of the day, it is sort of like chanting and like saying particular words and all that stuff. So it's like, all right, so words really do have power in this universe. So I like that implication a lot.
And then I think we have to talk about the tension between Rio and Agatha from the second Rio is back on the scene. It's like it's a very different, it's almost like a cross between gritty true crime drama Rio and the Rio that was trying to kill her. She's way less aggro about killing Agatha now, and she's way more she's just way more like big Aubrey Plaza energy, like menacingly sexual to everyone.
Menacingly sexual is truly the best way to describe Aubrey Plaza. Little tiny bit off topic, so sorry, but I've been rewatching Criminal Minds lately, and she has a serial killer arc in Criminal Minds where Aubrey Plaza plays a serial killer, and she is just the whole time just sexy flirting with one of the FBI guys. And I
think I've seen like a clip of that.
So unbelievably sexual. It's like, how the fuck did this get on daytime television? Like, Aubrey Plaza is just like a serial killer seducing an FBI agent, and it is the hottest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's the same energy as this episode, same exact energy. Aubrey Plaza, serial killer, seductive. Absolutely.
Maybe that's how she got the role. Who knows?
I think that's how she. I think that's how she got the role.
Schaefer went, I saw you on Criminal Minds.
Yeah, her audition was Criminal Minds. She's been playing the long con.
That's the only thing I'm familiar with your work on is Criminal Minds.
No, Tommy's like I totally agree with Tommy. Like that, her interactions with Agatha this episode are very suspicious and like very, obviously sexually charged. And like you do get a look at their relationship a lot in this episode, which I really liked. But I also really enjoyed us getting a look at like a small glimpse at Rio's motivations for being on the road, because she tells Agatha, while Agatha sort of tricks her into like revealing it over the intercom, she's like, like, I'm only here because like people tend to die around you, and like I just want my bodies. And I was like, why do you want bodies, girl? Like,
fertilizer.
Why are you so freaking weird like that?
They make the earth grow.
Because Rio is death, and she's come to collect. She's come to collect her bodies. I think that the biggest sign that we got, that like the biggest confirmation that Rio is definitely death, was when they were all sitting around the campfire. And like you said, she starts revealing a little bit more of their backstory together. And Agatha's like, you don't have a scar. And she's like, actually, I do. It's because I had to take something from someone I loved very much, and they hold it against me because it was just part of my job and I had to do it. And it was like, okay, so you are death and you had to collect her son, Nicholas Scratch, after he died. And that is clearly like what, a huge part of their beef is about. I think that was like definitely some confirmation, that and the I need to collect the bodies line.
But no, I like the idea of Aubrey Plaza being death so much, and I hope that she is, because like I would love to see her in a Deadpool movie. Like that would be just so much fun to see her and Ryan Reynolds just chew up scenery, just being funny and overtly sexual.
Yeah, do you think that after Thanos snapped, he just immediately ran to her and they got busy? They got busy because he was like, I just destroyed half the universe, baby. You can collect all these bodies.
Honestly, probably. They probably boned hardcore in the afterlife.
They probably boned so hard in the afterlife. I'm just saying.
Could we get a Thanos appearance in a flashback? Would that be crazy?
That would be.
Will they make the connection on this show though? I don't know. That's a pretty huge connection to make on a TV show.
It is, and it's something that's like in the comics, and they haven't really hinted towards it at all. But that would be cool as shit. Like, I don't know if they're even going the Thanos Deadpool route with this character, because so far they've just been going the Agatha route. And that doesn't mean that they won't in the future, but like so far we haven't gotten any hints from that. So that's why I'm like, I don't think that they would bring that up in the TV show, but maybe that would be so cool if we got a flashback of her in Thanos, or a flashback of her in Deadpool. Would be sick.
I think this is the MCU possibly setting up future stuff with death, with either Deadpool or the return of Thanos. Because like, I personally don't think Thanos is gone. I think that like this experience of him dying is supposed to get him to fall in love with death as a concept.
Oh my god!
Like,
okay.
I feel like,
what if it turns out that Sharon was Thanos, and that and Sharon comes back to life as Big Purple Grimace Man?
Ooh, Sharanos 2024.
Sharanos 2024, baby. MT, I'm so sorry. I interrupted you. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. I was just going to say, like, I think, like, the phenomenon of dying for a very long period of time and then coming back to life might mess with your mind a little bit, and, like, just be like, all right, I'm not 100% okay. Like, I have this weird, like, lights off, lights on type of scenario.
Yeah. Well,
and
he's the Mad Titan,
Right. And so, like, maybe, like, this could be an origin story for him going mad, which would be quite interesting.
I like that.
That would be very cool. I also which MCU afterlife is Thanos in? Because he's not on the ancestral planes, buddy. I can tell you that much. They didn't let him there. Access denied. Access denied to Thanos.
That would be so funny. If
I would love if him and T'Chaka were just hanging out, making
We're
those
just chilling.
stews,
Yeah,
those gourd soups.
Yeah, absolutely. Just big pot of porridge together. Well, I also don't think that he's in the Moon Knight afterlife on the Duat with Toweret. Could he and Toweret be having a thing right now? Maybe. I don't know. What dead world is he in?
Maybe that's how you get Mei Ling or whatever that little hippo's name is. You have Toweret.
Oh,
and
that's how you get Mudang. Yeah.
Yeah. Mudang is a man titan.
Mudang is the baby.
Is the love child of Toweret and
Toweret
Thanos.
Yo, put Mudang on the Black Order, bro.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Let
Guys,
Mudang join the Midnight Suns.
I just am in love with that idea almost as much as I'm in love with our sponsor today. We have an incredible sponsor. We always do, but today there's just something different.
There's just something in the air today that makes this sponsor extra special.
Something a little something special, something that you just never would see coming.
This sponsor is actually a sponsor sent to us by Rio herself. Wow. This is Devil-Free Cruises. Devil-Free Cruises.
MT.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking last week and I told you I was bummed out because my Carnival cruise was full of devils?
Bro, you couldn't stop talking about it, man.
I was devastated that we were out on the open seas with Hades. It was just so sad. There are devils everywhere. Devils by the pool, devils by the water slide, devils by the surf simulator, devils at the comedy show, devils at the magic show, devils at the buffet, devils everywhere. Deviled eggs at the breakfast buffet, deviled crab at the dinner buffet, devil's food cake chocolate at the dessert buffet. I couldn't get away from devils, but now it turns out Christ Cruise Line is offering devil-free cruises.
Praise the Lord. My God. Something that my mother has been preaching for ages, because my mother is a big Jesus fan.
Well, she's welcome on these cruises, I'll tell you that, because there'll be no devils there.
MT's mom is actually the founder and CEO of Devil Free Cruises. Wow. MT, tell us how this family business got started.
Listen, one day, while we were like on the boat one day, my mom had a dream while she was sleeping, and she was like, there's too many demons on these seas. We must start a demon-free cruise service. And so that's what she did. She prays on every board that was made to make the boat. And it was the boat is completely blessed. There's holy water used to wash it, the surface of the boat only.
Yes.
And
I've heard that the deck is made of the wood from Christ's cross.
Yes.
Yes. And the blankets are all parts of the Shroud of Turan.
I heard that they're letting animals onto the boat 2 by 2, just in case there's a big flood.
Right now, you can book your 40-day, 40-night cruise on Christ Cruises for the low price of $15,000. $15,000 gets you 40 days and 40 nights of extreme cruising. Cruising without any rain, cruising without any devils, cruising without anything. It's just the simple Christ-driven boat tour that you're looking for. You can do whale watching, you can make arts and crafts with some of our great cruise employees, but one thing you can't do is worship Beelzebub because he's nowhere to be found on this cruise. It's devil-free cruises.
And when you go whale watching, the whale might swallow you, especially if your name is Jonah. And that is something that you should be grateful for because it means
watch out, Jonah Hill. Watch out, Jonah Ray.
Watch out, guys, because this whale is coming for you when you go whale watching with Christ Cruises. The devil is nowhere near, but you will get swallowed by Monstro. It's still going to happen.
We wanted to get a slogan that rolled off the tongue a little better, but that's that's where we landed. If you go on Christ Cruises, you might get swallowed by a whale that will be Maestro, but you won't see any devils.
You won't at all. Not even one devil.
Not one devil.
They say the devil's in the details, but here on Christ Cruises, he's not.
There's 17 different slogans.
There's a lot.
Wow, guys, I can't wait to book my cruise. But what I got to do first is talk about this jam session that
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
helps rid
Yes.
Gulliver of her family curse. My God, everybody gets an instrument or at least some maracas. For some reason, Joe Locke is able to play guitar. He says, kind of. He's like, I can kind of
I
play
can
guitar.
sort of do this.
And boy, oh boy, did he look nervous. I mean, that actor did a great job of being like looking like the guy who's like performing for his parents and is like,
Yeah.
I think I'm good at this. But everybody else kind of fell into their roles, and I thought killed. I mean, we get to hear all these powerhouse vocalists
Oh my
singing.
God, yes.
It's just such a fun way to use those talents. Now, I did fold, not to because I we are paid Disney shows. I did think that this towed a very close line to me of being a little cheesy. It was like, I get the importance of it. I think it's on purpose. I kind of enjoy that this show has definitely. It's the complete opposite of like the really gritty DC attempts to make like comic book movies without any comic books. Like they're like someone I think it was a great quote, but it was a little hyperbole. I think where they were like, "Stop letting people who hate comic books direct comic book movies." And it's like you kind of see that with like Joker and stuff like that. It's like they're so far removed from like the like fantastical world of DC and Marvel, and it's like for better or for worse. Obviously, Joker was incredibly successful and. All credit to that. But I like that this show's kind of unapologetically, like the dialogue's a little corny. Everybody's hamming it. Everybody's ham factor and their acting is at like an 8. And like, yeah, they're going to break out into song 50% of the episodes. And that is, to me, a fine batting average. So, I mean, as I said, it towed the line of being cheesy, but it didn't bother me. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really fun.
Something that I thought was interesting, though, is like, okay, so do we think that Alice's mom just didn't like have the right coven? Because I'm like, dude, she got rid of the family curse with like one jam session and you died on the road trying to break this family curse. And her mom was like this famous musician. So I'm like, why was the mom's performance of that song not enough to get the little devil monkey off their backs? But like, I just wonder, like, I wonder if it's tied to like the power that these specific witches have when they're together. And maybe Alice's mom didn't have that same like bond.
On that, I kind of think maybe it has something to do with the involvement or presence of Joe Locke, because the curse tried to kill him, right? It threw him through the window. It feels like maybe he's some sort of like power amplifier, maybe for witches' powers. We're gonna find out.
If I were to guess, I think that like Lorna was trying to use like her concerts and like the people that attended those concerts as a means to get to the road. Because there's something about the road itself.
Yeah, because she was trying to. You are
to,
right. I forgot. She was using it to open the road. You are correct.
Right. But like, because I think there's something about the Witch's Road that like allows like conceptual stuff like a generational curse to become like physically real. And like, so that you can actually destroy shit like that on the road itself. And so like, because Alice actually got to the road, which is what Lorna failed to do, she was able to use the songs to kill the generational curse.
Thanks for answering my question. You're right. That's smart.
I have no clue. That's just like my own like interpretation.
No, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. I love it.
But like, I do want to talk about that moment when Joe Locke got like launched through the freaking window, because I don't think it was the curse that did it. I think that that was straight up Rio.
You think it was
because
Rio?
Like the curse, because when you like look at like how the curse operates, the curse only burns people like their skin. He's not really like a launcher, and that's what Rio did when we first met her. When at the end of episode 1, rather, when she blew down Agatha's doors.
Yeah,
she was like, all right, like there's something about Rio's power set that does allow for like the similar type of like airbending to Talo.
So her target is not really Agatha. You're saying it's Joe.
I think that her real motivation is for bodies, man, and like she got really impatient
bodies
as to like not getting the bodies that she was trying to see. So like she sort of like accelerated that along, because like she wants the witches to like do what they have to do on the road, because like she knows that they're going to die. So she was like, all right, I'm getting impatient. Let's just kill the kid to see how Agatha reacts, because Agatha seems to have a really weird relationship with this boy, and she was sort of like trying to like feel that out by trying to kill him. That's
a cool theory. I definitely also loved the way that like you were just saying a second ago, the way that the curse manifested physically, because I loved the part where Alice realizes that the demon has left her shoulders, where she's like, does anyone else feel lighter? I feel so much lighter. And it's like, bitch, that's because you had an invisible guy riding on your back this whole time. What? That's so nuts. That is so nuts. So I really loved the way that they turned it from like a psychological thing into a physical thing. I think that that's kind of like, it's a little baby bit, a little tiny baby bit of, commentary on how a lot of times women's pain is not believed until someone can see it. And I think that that was kind of like a little nod to the fact that Alice had this pain that she was carrying with her. And until other people were able to see it, and until other people were able to help her fight it, she wasn't able to get rid of it. And I think that it comes from like the sisterhood of all of her friends, believing her and saying, yeah, you do have this curse and we're going to help you beat it. And so it came to life. It became visible. Other people saw the curse, saw Alice, saw what she had been going through, and they helped her out of a pretty sticky situation there, if you ask me. So I thought that that was very cool, just like the power of sisterhood and believing in one another's pain and seeing someone and validating someone as a way to escape those kinds of generational traumas and curses.
Absolutely.
I agree 100%. And like, I feel like that concept also ties into, basically, this is going to sound like a weird transition, but like,
no, go for it.
The ending of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, when Doctor Strange gets his weird third eye, because in the comics, I think it's around the 2015 issues of like Doctor Strange, we do learn that like he uses like a third eye situation to see like the hidden realm of like monsters and stuff that like latch onto humanity all the time, that like humanity can't see, but Doctor Strange sees all the time, and like he's basically trying to like cure them of like, rid them of all these monsters so they can have like better days and stuff. And so like I feel like that's a very much an extension of like that sort of thing. It's like, all right, this unseen monster that you can only sort of kill on the Witch's Road, was bothering the Wu family until like they got rid of it. And like I think that this could be the MCU's way of like, setting up this idea of like real life struggles, like conceptual struggles, like, against women, like as like actual like invisible monsters that you can like sort of like kill. And I like that idea a lot.
You can kill them and fight them, and with the power of fuck the patriarchy, baby.
The jam session ends with the tragic bleeding out of Mr. Mysterious Teen, aka MT Junior. My little gay son.
Junior, Mysterious Teen. That's what MT stands for. Mysterious Teen.
Well, yeah, and then we get a really like I was like, oh well, this makes sense. Agatha's whole attitude is because she has this deep down inkling that it's her son, and then Aubrey Plaza rains on her parade, says he's not your kid.
He's not your kid, and I'm not going to make out with you, you bitch. And I was mad about that. I was like, at least make out a little. I do think that it is very... Gotta buy a ticket to see that show. Gotta buy a ticket to ride that. But yeah, I did think that it was like very interesting that this whole episode, we know that Agatha is manipulative. We know that she's been suggesting things on the road that personally serve her and her interests and her needs. So like most of her road suggestions of like, hey girls, maybe we should do this. Wouldn't this be kind of fun? Most of those things are just completely self-serving and like not about her, but not about anyone else. I mean, but I do think that it's very interesting that this entire episode was spent with her trying to convince Rio to like call a truce. And I do think that the majority of that, like 90% of that was self-serving, right? But I do think that there is another very small part of her that is probably still in love with Rio. And like that probably is a factor in it. I don't think that it's pure manipulation. I think that it's a shared history. And I think that we saw that like coming to the surface when they almost kissed. I don't think that part was intentionally supposed to be manipulative. I do think that like Agatha really wanted to kiss her. And I think that she found some sort of comfort in Rio being with her on the road. And I think that she wanted to like feel that, you know, like I think that she was like, oh man, I haven't had this like this comfort or this companionship with someone who I consider to be an equal to my talents and equally formidable as I am. And I just want to smooch on this bad bitch a little. Let me smooch on a bad bitch. I think that that's kind of like where Agatha's coming from. Been there, girl. Oh, haven't we all? Haven't we all? Just let a bad bitch smooch. I want it.
I send that letter to Santa every year and he ignores me.
Dear Santa, please send me a bad bitch to smooch. Love, MT.
All I want for my birthday is a big booty hoe, as a great officer, a great prophet once said.
Well, I think that's a wonderful place to land this bird. All we want for our birthdays are some big booty hoes.
Are some big booty hoes.
But all we want for this week is for you to take care of your pals, guys. I want to thank my pals for talking Agatha episode 4 with us. I want to thank our generous sponsor over at Devil Free Cruises, and
yes,
I want to thank our producing team, Brett, and our wonderful editor Alexa, and pals. I'm great to be back with you after a week off.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Right? It's been forever. I feel like it was forever since we last talked to you. So
I missed you so. I missed you every second.
If we don't even hang out for 1 week, I start going into little withdrawals, and I'm like, I need you guys.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care of your pals. Be good to your pals, and if you need a pal, don't be afraid to reach out. We love you. Bye.
Gang. See you later. Bye.